Okay guys, you're gonna open up your books to page 226. 226. And we are talking about shirts. So you work at a custom t-shirt shop, US Shirts over summer. One of your responsibilities is to calculate the total cost of customers' order. The shop charges $8 per shirt plus a one-time charge of $15 to set up the t-shirt design. So what is the important information that we get here? Describe the problem situation and your responsibility in your own words. So we just want to know what's the important information here. The important information is that each shirt costs $8. And then we have a one-time charge of $15. So that's something that we're always going to have to do. Now, is the relationship between the number of shirts ordered and the total costs of the order proportional or non-proportional? Well, we have this one-time charge. So it's not just by shirt. We have that one-time charge, so it's going to be non-proportional. Because we have a starting point, which is also our one-time charge of $15 for the design. All right, that is proportional. That's an R and that's an O. All right, so what if the total customer cost for $10 of each shirt? So we have 3 shirts here. So if we know, let's see, can I get it to where we can see both? Each shirt costs $8 plus we have a $15 fee. So we know we have to do our $15 fee plus each shirt is $8 and we have 3 of them. So plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. Now, I can combine these. So I would get 15 plus 8 times 3. Okay. PEMDAS tells us we need to multiply these first. 8 times 3 is, you can do it by hand or you can do it on your calculator. 8 times 3 gives us 24 plus our 15 gives us a total of 39. So it's going to cost $39 to do 3 shirts. Now how about 10 shirts? I can write out 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This. Or I can know that I'm multiplying. So I have 8 times 10 plus our $15 charge. So 8 plus 10, oops, not plus, 8 times 10 gives us 80 plus 15 equals 95. So it costs $95 to get 10 shirts. Now, what if we needed to do 100 shirts? Well, we're just replacing this number right here because we have our 10 shirts here. So we have 8 times 100 plus 15. So 8 times 100 equals 800 plus 15 equals 815. That's something that you can do in your head, but if you want to use the calculator, you can. Now it asks, how did we calculate each cost? Well, first we multiplied number of shirts by the $8 per shirt. Then we added the 15. Then added the $15 fee. All right. So now we're going to go backwards. Let's say that I have $50. How many shirts can I buy for $50? So first, I need to take away my fee. So I'm going to subtract 15. And 50 minus 15 gives me 35. Now, up here I had to multiply when I knew how many shirts. I'm trying to figure out how many shirts now. So I need to do the opposite and I need to divide. So 35 divided by 8, because that's how much each shirt costs, equals 4.4. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I can buy 4.4, but I can't buy a portion of a shirt. So I'm going to round this to just say 4. I can buy 4 shirts and I'll have a little bit left over. All right, so now what if I have 60? Again, I have to subtract my 15 first to find out how much I have left to spend on t-shirts, because I know I have to spend that $15 no matter if I get 1 shirt or 30 shirts. Okay, so I start with my 60 minus 15, and that gives me 45. Now I need to divide my 45 by 8, divided by 8, and I get 5.625. But just like before, I can't have a portion of a shirt. So I'm going to round it because I can't, even though I would normally round up here, I don't have enough to get that extra shirt. So I'm going to keep it to the first whole number I get and have 5 shirts. Because if I were to round that up to 6, it would cost more than $60. So we need to keep it to what we can afford. All right, what if I have $220? Well, first I have to subtract my 15, 220 minus 15, and I get 205. And then I'm going to divide that by 8, just like I did there. Divided by 8. Again, even though I would normally round this up to 26, if I went up to 26, I wouldn't have enough money for that. So I need to stick to what I'm able to do. So we can say $25. Or not dollars, oh my goodness, 25 shirts. All right, explain how you calculated the number of shirts that customers can buy. Well, the first thing we did is subtracted the $15 fee from our total. Then divided by $8 for each shirt. All right. Identify the variable quantities and constant quantities in this problem. Okay, we are actually going to skip that one. And we are going to go over to the next page. Okay. So now we are on page 228. And we want to complete a table of how much it's going to cost. So again, I'm just going to write it over up here so we remember. It's $8 per shirt and a $15 one-time fee. That's just to remind us. So I'm actually going to rewrite this because I want to write out the process here. And over here, I'm going to say number of shirts. Okay. All right. So let's do like this so you can see my calculator too. All right. So let's start at one shirt. What if I did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do 10, and we'll do 25, and we'll do 50, because let's just get into some bigger numbers here. So even though this doesn't go up at a constant rate, it's still okay, because this will go up at the same rate. All right, so number of shirts purchased, or the process to do this. So first things first, it's $8 per shirt. So just like we did on the last page, we're going to multiply. So 8 times 1 plus our $15. Okay, so 8 times 1 gives me, of course, 8, plus my $15 gives me a total of $23. Okay, now I have 2, so I'm going to replace my 1 with my 2. 8 times 2 plus my $15. 8 times 2 plus 15. That gives me 31. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep adding in my number here and replacing it with the number here, because this is our number of shirts. 8 times 3 plus 15. 8 times 3 gives me 24, plus my 15 is 39. We did that one on the last page too. 8 times 4 plus 15. 8 times 4 plus 15. Okay, now we jumped up to 10. So instead of a 4 here, I'm going to put a 10 in. 8 times 10 plus 15. So we're going to do 8 times 10 is 80, plus our 15 is 95. Okay, well if we did 25 shirts, 8 times 10 plus 15. 8, oops, I did the wrong button. 8 times 10, oh goodness, I did not write that right. My bad. Okay, so let's try that again. 8 times 25 equals 200, plus our 15 is $215. Okay, now 50. 8 times, oh, I guess I should write that, huh? 8 times 50 plus 15. Is 415. All right, now I'm going to come down here. Okay, we want to create a graph from our table. So total cost in dollars is going to be this one, and then we have our number of shirts. So we have our X value. Let's bring it back down here. This is going to be our X value, and this is our Y value, right? Okay, so I should have done. Let's, just to make it easier on us, we're gonna do an extra one down here and do 5. 8 times 5 plus 15, and that gives us 8 times 5 plus 15. Oops. 8 times 5 equal, 8 times 5 plus 15 equals 55. Okay, so if we sold no shirts at all, if this was a 0 here, this would cancel out and we would just have 15. So that would be our starting point, but we can't see that. So we know that we're not quite starting at 0. This is halfway, so we know that this is 25. This is 75, 125, 175, 225, 275. Okay, so we know we're going to be starting somewhere down here. 5 is 55, So I'm going to come up here. Here's 55, and I'm going to go just a little bit above that. So there is, oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. There is my first point right there. Okay. And then we have 10, and we get 95. So I'm going to come up here. This is 100. 95 is going to be just below that. And then we have 25 at 215. So I'm going to come up here. Here's 200. Here's 225. So it's a little higher than the middle. Okay, and now we're going to just draw a straight line. So this is the only thing that I have really handy right now. So there's our line. All right. So now we need to define our variables. Define and write an algebraic equation for the problem. Okay. So we have our number of shirts is our first one. Number of shirts. And I'm going to use N to represent that for number. And then we have total cost. So I'm going to use C to represent that. Total cost. All right. So now we need to write this as an equation. So if I know up here, I'm multiplying it by 8 each time by my number of shirts that I'm purchasing. That is going to be my slope. And I'm going up at a rate of 8 up here. So I'm going to have my total cost equals 8n, and then we have this plus 15. So we add 15. And here's our equation. C equals 8n plus 15. Okay. Make sure you have all of these notes in your book. I will be checking to make sure that you have them all done and get started on your next assignment.